All right. Welcome, everybody, to IoT Coffee Talk. I don't have a guitar. David, do you have a guitar to start off?
Absolutely not.
No, I know. That's always a shame, you know. It's funny, when we started this, it was just, we just start talking and, I remember Rick Bullotta thought, we only had about 20 episodes worth of content. And then it's like, all right, we're done. There's nothing new to talk about IoT. And somehow we kept showing up, I think we're the poster child for the value of just showing up.
There you go. Consistency, discipline, never give up.
Absolutely. But yes, then over time, literally just started breaking out his guitar. And so we had lots of, rocking out. Oh, let's see here. I'm going to hit the admit. We got Stephanie. Hey.
Hi there.
How's it going?
Good. How about you guys?
Straight out of Bandera.
Yes.
Yeah.
The country hood.
Exactly. Oh, good. Hang on. Let Pete in here. This is good. This is better than I expected. When I have to do the last minute, Rob's going to send you an invitation.
Is that what happened? Like the one that we have like in our calendar, the one that you texted is completely different, right?
So it's just this one time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I got into that one a while ago.
Yeah. Because Leonard's like, hey, I'm on a plane. I'm flying back from Barca. So it might be, well, but these days, you should, do we not have Starlink going for airplanes now for some of them?
Free Delta Wi-Fi or something.
But have you been reading how horrible the Southwest Airlines experiences are for everyone right now since they changed?
No.
Get on TikTok and read how horrible it is.
Really?
It makes me not want to ever fly Southwest Airlines ever again. That bad.
Oh, that's what it took?
It used to be beautiful within Texas, if you're going from San Antonio to Dallas to Houston.
That's right.
Perfect.
It's true.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. Stephanie, maybe you could give us the OG story of Southwest Airlines. Wasn't it just a triangle on a drink napkin? Something like that?
Yes.
I don't know the origins. I have no idea. I just know it's a Dallas love is like.
Did it come out of a Texas International or, because there was other airlines in the past, obviously we used to have all kinds of cool, like Braniff and Eastern and, all that kind of stuff.
Comes to mind, Braniff.
Right. Yeah. There's like a Braniff Drive right near DFW airport.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But yeah, that story, what was it? Is it Herb Keller? Whatever that's the guy who started Southwest. And it, like all good startups, it's on a drink napkin, and he just drew a triangle: Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. And it's like we're going to build an airline that just does this, and we'll be the low fare airline, and flight attendants can be funny and be silly, right? I remember that, and I guess they were also known for being able to get in and out of an airport faster than anybody. So.
And then they focused on all the regional airports.
That's right.
That's right. They don't have a hub, right? They don't have a hub. That's the whole thing. Yeah.
But Stephanie, you have rest assured that the changes you're experiencing at Southwest are for two reasons. Number one, to improve the end customer experience, and number two, to maximize shareholder value.
Yeah, because our customers were telling us, I want you to be just like all the other airlines, please.
Yes. I no longer want free bags. Please charge me for it. I have the money. Take my money.
Yeah.
And number two, that whole thing, I really want to pick my seat the way everybody else is doing it. Let's do that.
Yeah.
How much for the cattle car in the sky,
let's please take away everything that differentiates my airline and just be done with those things.
Exactly.
Like parents are being separated from 2-year-olds, and they're not allowing, they're making them buy that seat. It's sitting there open.
That might be a feature.
That is a feature and not a bug. Okay. The reason I fly Southwest is because I don't want to be next to my children or my family or my friends or my loved ones.
Yes,
I see you at the airport and I see your baggage claim.
David, you were writing their marketing messaging. Let's go.
Soon there'll be a card swipe on the restrooms, though. I mean, it's just getting nickel and
Oh
dime.
my God.
Yes.
Wait a minute, Steve. I see you have a guitar in the background. Maybe you could fill in for Leonard's
You can
music.
fill in for Leonard and play guitar.
We usually have an intro.
Just something. Give us your best Eddie Van Halen or something. Because if you don't do it, Pete's going to do it because Pete is legit.
He should do
Yeah.
it.
Yes,
I'm
Pete.
actually
Oh,
not
Pete.
very well set up right now. So
Yeah, and
it's a
the
whole
bummer
other
thing.
audio thing I need to be prepped for.
Yeah,
Rob, you can do an air guitar,
air guitar.
Place it in post. Put it in post, Rob.
We'll put it in post. That's what the show is all about. Is we'll screw it up during a
That's where
live
the
deal and
magic
put it in.
happens. The post-production.
Exactly. And you know what, Pete? I know you got new gear, but I really feel like the gain on your microphone is still quiet.
Should I go up a little bit? I can go up like
Yeah, just
this.
a little
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yes. So all you guys, you probably don't know Ian. Ian, you can introduce yourself. He's a buddy of mine. We hang out at the Ion, which is a startup hangout here in Houston.
Cool.
Ian
Nice.
is a Mr. Tell us about tech and what you do in upstream oil and gas.
Thanks, Rob. Hi, guys. I'm a former electrical engineer, software engineer, oil and gas. 20 my 30-year career. IoT is kind of like the original control systems that we used to do back in the 90s. So that acquisition system. So yeah, my background is hard tech. And in the last few years, we've been doing a lot of work with companies that are trying to move that into more mainstream and just connecting it to the big enterprise software systems. I share a little overlap with Leonard. We worked together at IBM, and he used to keep me sane and tame. And so when I was younger,
Nice.
so yeah,
There's a real connection there. Leonard is like,
Yeah.
oh my God, you know Ian? Oh, they work together. Yeah.
It's a small world we live in.
It is
It
a
is.
small world. Yes.
Especially when David can meet up with who did you meet up with recently?
Wait for it.
With our favorite internet troll, Rick Bullotta.
Wow.
Really? I could not believe that. I was like, wow, he actually
I
made it
know.
happen.
Yes, in real life, we compared hair notes, and no, it was
Notes.
Where did you see each other? Where were you?
just down the street in Geneva.
In Geneva,
beautiful
okay.
Switzerland.
Like
Yeah.
really randomly.
Was he
Yeah.
was he headed somewhere to go skiing?
He's having a good time in the mountains, I hope.
Oh, that's good.
No, it was cool. This is, I mean, jokes aside, we've been doing this for so long that we forget how communities used to happen when we started this, right? We started this out of COVID, out of a necessity that we used to get together, we couldn't get together, we used a tool to get together, and this has come now full circle because I literally just met someone who I've been talking to for 300 and some odd episodes.
Wow.
Right. So it was it was absolutely cool. But I was going to ask, Ian is probably one of the only few people that can spell SCADA and COBOL.
There you go. Actually, I programmed them both, by the way, long time ago. Yeah.
Oh, so
That's good to hear, David.
tell us what your company does, Timber Grove. What's that all about?
Thanks, Rob. We're a engineering agency basically that we build custom software and hardware solutions. So if a company has a need for something that either exists in the marketplace, they want to integrate it. So we integrate both, not just the OT side, the operational technology, but also the IT side, and we build either custom software, a lot of pipelines, things that you already know, right? We put together something with utilizing MQTT or Kafka systems like that, and then build applications either in the end user side or the analytics side, like some sort of prediction, engine, using machine learning models. So basically, we're mostly about having a delivery increase optimization and uptime for machinery and minimizing downtime, mostly oil and gas and manufacturing. Those are our primary customers.
Nice.
And are you totally focused on upstream, or is it all over the place?
We are all over the place, but the reality is that when we reach out to customers, we reach out upstream. The reason is because I spend about a year between Baker Hughes and NOV and drilling rigs and the drilling side of things. So upstream does both drilling and exploration, and it also does production of oil. And so those are the areas that we know really well. So when we have conversations with customers, it's a lot easier to do if you know that. I know a little bit about refineries, but it's not my field. So I try to stay away from that unless they want something very niche, that the technology is more important than the actual process itself. And so, which doesn't happen often, so.
Yeah. I went to a plug and play event last week in Sugarland at their office. They were doing kind of like a batch selection thing. And, I was amazed how much the hard tech that they were demonstrating. I know a lot of us have been to pitch events and we've seen how startups have been over the last 20 years, and they're all kind of software-y, webby, whatever. And I go to this thing and people are like, here's the prototype I did for this giant machine that plugs into a refinery and sucks CO2 out of the air and does it. Everything there was just hard tech, huge industrial. And I felt really stupid all of a sudden. I thought I was a playa. And then I saw all these people, and of course they're all PhDs, and they're building really giant, hard, consequential things. And so it kind of changed my perspective.
There is a place here that one block away from the Ion here in Houston, Midtown Houston, is called the Greentown Labs. It's actually started in Boston, and it's mostly clean tech and energy transition. But they actually have a lab, a section that is just labs. And Rob, next time you're here on Friday, we should go there. We have a lab there. Timber has a little lab there. But the things that people are building there are just incredible. There's a guy building this. You know how pipes and drilling have these big threads, right? And every time that you put that pipe and goes downhole, if the thread gets damaged, and you're talking about thousands of tons of weight that you're putting on that pipe, right? That thread, if it gets damaged, it could cause a huge thing. And, downhole, the hole can collapse. It's, cost millions of dollars. And so these guys are building something using just the Jetson nanos, right? And then cameras, and then using cameras, the Raspberry Pi type of cameras built into the inside of a cage that you put on top of the thread, and in seconds tells you alignment. It can tell you whether it's out of specs. It's just incredible. I mean, these guys, and they're building with 3D printed materials, by the way, which is just incredible.
Ian, I know it's your first time here, and I only have two jobs here. I bring lack of intelligence, and two, I clarify things for the young people. So, the young people, downhole, Ian is talking about the tools and the operations that go into the ground, into the hole to get crude oil. He's not talking about a really bad hangover as you're being tossed out of your favorite club. That's not what downhole is.
No.
Clarification, David. Appreciate it.
I did see a stat somewhere that there's more college students studying kind of hardware and electrical engineering now than pure computer science. Like it's shifted.
It has to. I think, one, I read somewhere from an alleged reputable source. If you were not doing computer science before 2021, just forget about it. Just pivot to something else. That's not it.
That's hard.
Yeah. And
hard tech. It's all about the
oil and gas, and maybe even construction. It's like, talk about lessons that have always been there. These folks have always, the good companies, the good outfits have always been in the local trade schools, all your local shops, like basically fostering and creating the awareness that these jobs exist, that these jobs are crucial. They pay well. You can see what you've built. They're not fancy because you're not in an office downtown, your favorite city. But they're awesome jobs if you ever had the opportunity to be in a production site.
That's so true.
My 2 cents.
No, you're so right.
I got caught in a bit of an Instagram kind of hole last night as I was doom scrolling. I saw that there was a woman who had built she lived in some suburb in the Midwest, and she basically created a mine under her house. And she dug a mine, and she was mining rocks, and she had built the forms for the concrete for the tunnel, and she had all this, it was like a multi-year project. And of course, then the city got involved and shut her down because she had no permits or anything.
Of course.
But and she had this, and she had built this conveyor belt and kind of the sump pump and the whole thing. And it was incredible.
That's amazing.
and she was just doing this stuff, and like, mining rocks under her house. And it was like an amazing set of engineering skills.
So random.
And she was running like,
that's
electrical conduit, and she was, I mean, talk about hard tech. I mean, it was just all hands-on stuff. It was
there's
very
Wow.
impressive.
Speaking of construction and women, it's Happy Women in Construction Week.
Oh,
Well,
There you go.
Really interesting. Very good.
outstanding.
I have a few marketing construction companies and a ready mix company and commercial construction companies. And you're right though, David, it's all about all of their equipment, maintenance, operations, locating them, recovering them, safety, compliance. Like that's where all their energy is. It's not on this. I mean, from a software perspective, it's just like what we've been talking about AI for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's really, they just see it as a tool. So
right, means to an end. Yeah, and even like the concrete, I learned a lot about concrete and the water ratios and like what the ratios of concrete you need to have to do different things and things like that. So
well,
all
they
that
get
stuff's
into tricky things like the type of aggregate for the type of asphalt that is going to change based on altitude and whether you're building through a mountain is super cool. Shout out to Knife River, a subsidiary of Montana Dakota Utilities, all over the Pacific Northwest. Lots of cool rigs, lots of, I mean, as a non-engineer, I could geek out about concrete mix.
and you know what, David, like it, who would think that technology and ready mix is coming together right now? The biggest growth engines for my client, Guadalupe Ready Mix, shout out in Texas. Their two largest growth areas are data centers. They're putting all the concrete in for these massive data centers all over Texas. And then number two, the modernization that's happening with the smart grid. And so they're in the middle of, building out the concrete platforms for these massive, transmission lines that are being like they're old or antiquated. They need to be upgraded.
Right, new paths.
You just don't think about like things that are happening in tech that are moving the needle. Texas is one of the fastest growing states for data center build out, and the fact that they need concrete, and not only that, the trend is batch planting. So batch plants, they can be moved and mobile and be set up really quickly on the fly wherever that location is, and so they're not sitting there with a long line of trucks coming from many places. So things are just like moving pretty quickly, and you never think about that kind of thing.
Usually it takes us 20 minutes to get into something that's IoT related. But things that most of for some time now, because we've had telematics for a while, but Ready Mix was one of the key use cases to be able to get data from the drum that's mixing, because when you're pouring a data center, that's different than the 8x8 shed that Rob and I bought at our local Home Depot. We can do that, just the two of us. But when you're pouring concrete, it is highly, highly orchestrated.
Right.
And eventually we made it into the telematics data where we can get data from the mixer in the back so that you can dispatch trucks in the right order. So you get one continuous pour. Now, again, not an engineer. I don't remember the intricacies, but it's the difference between a slab that the customer will approve, like you did a good job, and having problems down the end.
Yep.
And it's all monitored with, lots of good old connectivity, all of the
6G.
telematics.
There you go.
Streamed, baby, streamed.
6G. 6G
Yeah,
and concrete go together.
They were really hopping up 6G at Mobile World Congress.
Why not? What else is there to talk about?
There's four things that I didn't want anyone to talk about from Mobile World Congress. One was they keep coming back with the smart glasses because Meta and Ray-Ban, they sold millions of these, so it's coming whether we want to or not. Private wireless, that's still a big thing. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
SPG32 because we all want easy to swap IoT deployments, but 6G because 6G is what telcos really, really need to double, quadruple revenue. That's all you need.
Oh, wait, should I tell him? Oh. I remember when they were saying that about 5G, and we're going to make so much more money. And remember,
yeah,
4G.
They found some analysts that said people will pay like double. Yeah,
folks not on this call. Folks not on this call.
Not on this call, but they found analysts, Ericsson and Verizon and everybody. They said, yeah, people will pay a premium for the faster 5G speeds. And how did that work out? People like, nope, it's table stakes.
Absolutely not. And it just needs to be inherent when I pick up my phone.
It's like,
I remember the use case of the surgeon who would need a consultation with somebody visually. I'm like, really? How many of those really are happening these days? You know, probably
remote
not.
Surgery on a banana.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
You know, so I won't defend the banana surgery, but let's listen. Let's be thoughtful about it. This was a marketing ploy.
What?
It showed a capability that was never tied to a wireless network before, right? So it's like, hey, before you couldn't do this, one day you could do this. But the big miss is that if any responsible adult that has a condition that warrants, that requires surgery and care from a board certified responsible surgeon, none of us would choose the goddamn robot controlled by the guy. I need the guy or the gal.
True.
Humans, we all know about robotic dexterity. And on top of that, I'm going to add a network. Anyway,
but wait, it's low latency.
What were you saying, Steve?
Yes.
Ultra low latency, Rob, not just low latency.
I didn't hear what you were, Steve, I didn't hear what you were saying.
I was just saying, I think they should just go straight to 7G. Just really roll people's stocks up and down.
Goes to 11G.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So
skip one version, right? Skip one version.
So Steve Cannon is
it was like Windows.
Most...
We didn't do Windows 9. Remember that? We went from Windows 8 to Windows 10 because
there was something about Windows 95 was going to screw things up or something.
Some
so Steve Cannon is like the most IoT person on this call right now. Right. And I would love for you to bring it. Last time you were on the call, it's been a while. You had long hair, and you were doing the twin thread thing up in Bozeman. Maybe catch everybody up with what you're doing these days.
Yeah, I've since relocated 2 hours east of Houston to Lake Charles, Louisiana, where I'm from.
Nice.
I did come out of Twin Thread. I basically use a white label version of Twin Thread and went down market to go simplify it. And our first pilot project was with a concrete and asphalt factory.
Nice.
5,000 tons a day. They have a rotary kiln system on 8 motors, has to rotate at a certain speed at 600 degrees Fahrenheit on these 850 horsepower motors. They don't know which ones are going to fail, but if they lose more than 2, the whole operation stops. We put on energy sensors and vibration sensors, and 24 hours later came back and said, number 2, that one doesn't look right. And number 5 is certainly consuming way more energy than the rest. And sure enough, those were the first 2 out of the 8 to go. And instead of having 4 or 6 of these on standby, they knew they only needed 2. And so it's kind of first visibility into a factory that was 50 years old almost. And then the other was their conveyor system. Simple thing. They offload ships if they get too much tonnage and they don't know density from shipload to shipload, or even on the ship sometimes, that if they get too much, the whole system stops. And then they have to manually shovel off the conveyor system to get back to an operational weight before they can start it again. So, but really simplified of plug and play, show it at work, prove short-term value quickly, and then do more of it.
Right. So Pulse Checker is your company.
Yeah.
And I remember getting to ride shotgun with you in Bozeman a few winters ago. I can't believe that you were pitching VCs in the dead of winter, like in December in Bozeman. So I got to experience.
You learn to survive.
Yes, yes. And so that was fun hanging out with you there. And I never thought I'd go. Everybody who goes to Bozeman who decides, oh, we're moving here. This is the best city in America. You're there like in August, you know?
Yeah. Well, it was a hurricane down here, Hurricane Rita, that pushed us up there. We ended up in Las Vegas for 2 years. I was in the casino world at the time. And then ended up in Bozeman, and it wasn't on our roadmap, and managed to stay for almost 17 years. But 3 years was the magic number. Anybody that moved up there, if they made it past 3 years, 3 winters, not just summers, there's a pretty good chance they would stay.
Because there's like we saw a lot of yuppie Californians who moved there because they heard it was cool, and we don't know if they can survive. You know,
I'm in the Pacific Northwest, right?
I've seen 37 below on my dashboard.
Wow.
No, thank you.
Wow. I
My
know.
body wouldn't survive that.
It's like the first thing you need to ask the people from LA when they move to Bozeman. It's like, all right, how many cords of wood have you collected to see if you can make it through the winter? Because you have no idea. I know you're watching Yellowstone and you think it's just going to be great.
Throw a couple of Duraflames in there, all good.
Don't like that at all. Yeah.
Absolutely. But man, the stuff Steve's doing, I mean, the machines you're building, you know, I know it started with, you know, freezers and coolers and restaurants.
Yeah.
And the stuff you're doing is hardcore.
We're doing digital twins of boats, tugboats, big 5,000 horsepower engines, entire school systems. It's really been interesting finding people that really want to get nerdy about old equipment.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we've said that on the show before, you know, earlier days of IoT, the people, if you want to have success in IoT, you have to work with old stuff. You got to embrace brownfield, because too many people dove into IoT early on and they showed up with Raspberry Pis and they told companies, I need you to rip out all that old stuff and we're going to put in all the shiny new stuff. And what do those people say? Get the hell out of my office.
Rip and replace is never a good thing in IoT for sure. Yes.
Right. You need
We're
to.
talking, most folks
Unfortunately, I have to leave.
Oh,
well, thanks for joining
us, guys. Yeah,
Nice
sorry,
meeting you.
only 30 minutes, but a pleasure to meet everybody. I watch you from the distance. So excited to share some time with you guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rob.
Have a good weekend.
Talk to you guys later. Nice to meet you.
David's dropping off too, so
Yeah, but you know, I'll say something nice on my way out about the oil and gas guy too that just dropped off.
Yeah.
The it wasn't hype, but you know, doing work with utilities and oil and gas companies, it was incredible to see the success in deals and the satisfaction of the customer when all you would do is say, listen, this doohickey, this widget, all it's going to do is going to let you remotely monitor the things that you're driving 2 hours through the mountains to check. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything else. If there's an alarm, it will tell you. If something open, it will tell you. If you have a pump station or a little SCADA system and you got to come look at this, Windows 7 computer, I can give you all that from the main office. That was it. We were not talking about lifting and shifting, no forklifting of deals, no new software, nothing.
super
And oil and gas, they were incredible, great users for good old IoT remote monitoring.
You know what? I think we got too big for our britches sometimes with IoT and got too slick. And it's like, you know what? What's the basic great thing it does? It does great remote monitoring, and that gives you a heads up.
That is like the original OG use case for almost all of the industries. Like, if you look at all the different like core applications, it was remote monitoring and tracking. Were like that's the mother lode from the industrial marketplace. That is where all the money's being made. Outside of that, it was like just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Hey, good seeing you, bro. Take it easy.
Seeing you.
You know, and I know we talked about this with AI. everybody's expecting AI to do all these things. I remember one of our shows, we just said, let's just get level set. What are the handful of things that we know for sure AI is good at? And maybe if we just focused on building value around that, what can it do? It can summarize data, documents, it can write code. There's this handful of stuff where we for sure know this is really good. And then there's like a million things that everyone talks about that's la la land that it may or may not be good at. And
I think it gets challenging when most folks are using these open AI systems that are fed any and all data. Whereas, like, if you're a corporation and you're feeding training, simulation models, whatever, you're training it with your already trusted information, materials, documentation, code. That to me is where the beauty lies in AI, not this system that has all these external factors being fed into it, which creates a lot of bias, which not providing sovereign data. Like, it's just a lot of mess. And so I think that we have to get really smart around that, the internal use, corporate use, organizations, government entity use, like things that are already trusted in this environment. It's a completely different story when you're talking about use cases and trusted data.
Yeah. I love how I'm going to mispronounce his name. Anyway, the head of DeepMind at Google, his little comment, and I posted it, he was just like, all right, here's how we're going to figure it out. He goes, we'll train like Gemini, for instance, because that's where he works, with everything there is to know. And then we're going to cut off that know-how at the year 1911. And then we're going to see if it can come up with the theory of relativity on its own. And if it can, then we'll know we've reached AGI. If it cannot, then we know that we just have a pattern matching mimicking machine. And that's all it is. And so, it's interesting,
Yeah. But it's all about the data that the thing is trained on. So, the chatbots and these kind of frontier models that are trained on, 4chan and like old soap opera reruns and stuff are inherently creating like really bad personalities and characteristics. But if you train the data more locally on the actual job you want to get done, then you get a lot more kind of accuracy and predictability. And so, of course, I'm a little biased, but I think that moving these models to more specific use cases as opposed to general purpose frontier models is really the way to go in terms of getting real ROI. I mean,
you got to point out problems first.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I think that's the migration is going to be toward more specific models and expertise. In fact, you're seeing it now. It's interesting. My former boss at Microsoft has created a kind of you can sort of hire these virtualized engineers, like I think it's a chemical engineer. You can hire like these employees, quote unquote, that are trained on very specific expertise. Now, he's probably leveraging some frontier models on the back that were trained on 4chan, which is not good. But the idea of creating more specialized intelligence as opposed to, you go talk about general intelligence, I would argue there's no such thing as general intelligence. So there's either specialized intelligence or there's the intelligence of humanity, which is, as we know, pretty twisted. And you get models that try to blackmail people and try to have self-preservation.
Right.
Like we've been saying with Anthropic,
which we don't want that. We don't want that. So that was the mistake initially. It was training it on the garbage of humanity.
Yeah.
And really the answer is training it on the data around the problem that you want to solve with enough kind of language capability to make sense of the data. But we'll get there.
Maybe we end up, Pete, with these micro agents that are company specific or industry specific or use case outcome specific.
Well, I think people that can show that they can provide agentic AI and they can trace back to the authenticity of the data it was trained on. Mm-hmm. I think those will be valuable assets to invest in.
Do you guys feel like we jumped over sanitizing the data side of it, and we just jumped right over that into the capabilities? So
everybody's talking about the bias. There's two kinds of bias: intended and unintended in everything.
Right.
And we just think it's pure, and it's so unpure. Yeah, that's even what Oracle's talking about now. Everybody's talking about the nature of what these are built upon and the
Right.
bias.
Well, and initially they didn't have enough data to train it on, so they just sucked in everything from YouTube and, like I said, all those soap opera reruns and 4chans and whatever they
Yeah.
could get their hands on. And lo and behold, it's kind of you get some weird behavior
I
there.
want to see an AI model that's just trained 100% on Alex Jones.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
I'll come eat your children.
That's right.
Well, yeah, but as well, singularly looking at any one person, there's massive bias.
Sure, everyone has bias.
Yeah,
Judgments.
see, like
Prejudgments or prejudice.
one of the exercises that was going around, I think it was trending. So I don't remember, social media or TikTok, or is go into one of these platforms, ChatGPT or whatever, and just ask it to write a bio on yourself, and watch it go find some stuff and put a little write up together, and then you read it and you're like, there's all kinds of things that's either missing or misinterpreted, or it's actually saying some things that it thinks are fact that are completely untrue, and you're like,
And it's
this is what
confidently giving that answer. It's not telling you, hey, there's a 60% chance this is correct.
Yeah.
It's confidently giving an answer.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
in a very sycophantic way.
Yeah, for sure. You're right.
Which is a whole other personality disorder, by the way.
Yeah. When I think about this, the AI and the data centers and stuff like that, closer to where you live, like there's a lot of construction data center stuff around San Marcos area, or there's proposals to do that
in Bastrop.
But I've just heard some news about people showing up at city council meetings saying, we already have a drought out here, we don't have enough water to feed these days, and obviously there's been all the talk about electricity and stuff like that. I just didn't know if you knew anything, if you ever hear anything about that.
No, that's a huge thing going on right now. They're going to the TCEQ. It's the environmental. I forgot what it stands for. It's Texas. It's the environmental compliance organization over Texas. And so there's the two sides. We're complaining about water and we're complaining about electricity use. So if our community is not getting, we're not, we already can see the growth in our population and the demand for electricity. And then now you're bringing in all these data centers, like what's going to happen to our quality of life? And then secondarily, yes, a lot of these industrial plants, a lot of the data centers require water, right? And so there's a big, and even just creating the concrete, lots of water, these batch, so they're like, what's going to happen to our communities and the quality of our air and the quality of our water? And so that's a huge thing. But Bastrop, which is east of Austin, where you've got between like north of Austin and east of Austin, you have the big Amazon warehouses, you have Tesla, AWS, we have all of that stuff and all that growth right there, and everything's being built out. And so it's like Austin proper, and it's between Austin and College Station where all that growth is. And so that's where a lot of the build out is right now.
There's also, noise pollution. I mean, data centers put off 90 decibel plus light pollution. And unfortunately, the public sentiment, I don't know if it's unfortunately, but the fact is the public sentiment is against a lot of this kind of AI and data center stuff. They just don't want it. They just don't see the value add of adding more data centers to their life. It doesn't. I agree. And the other thing is the employment per square foot, jobs per square foot on data centers is really low. I mean, you don't need that many humans to run a data center. So it's not like it's creating any jobs. It's just pulling. I mean, I think definitely on the power side, there'll be some, well, maybe not for the next few years, but some regulation that says all data centers need to be self-powered. Like,
wait for it. Wait for it.
Power in. Go ahead, Rob.
And to your point there, Pete, what just happened on the 4th, the day before yesterday, all the different hyperscalers and AI got to hang out with their buddy, President Trump, in the White House, and they all signed this ratepayer protection pledge, which basically says what you just said. They're all on the hook. They're like, you have to come provide and create your own new energy sources. You cannot do anything that's going to cause electricity rates to be hitting the people in the surrounding communities.
Yeah.
Right.
They also a little thing that was included on there is it's kind of a social thing. It was like, you need to hire people in your local community to be working at these places.
So those 3 people working at the data center need to be local.
Yeah, well, because I remember reading a blurb. I mean, it's probably exaggerated, but the shock value takeaway of the
But no, self-powered is the only way to go. I mean, we already know this. The hyperscalers don't want to take a dependency on public grids. They can't take a dependency on the public grid because the public grid's 50 years old,
right,
and it needs a lot of work. So they're like, well, we'll just build our data center next to this new power plant behind the meter and call it a day. And that's also why you're seeing a lot of interest in small nuclear reactors and some of these other longer term kind of solutions.
It reminds me of if you've ever noticed, anytime you see a Home Depot, you'll see a Chili's nearby.
What?
So it's like, it's the strangest thing. There's always a Chili's next
back
to
ribs.
This is what's happening with the data centers. Like the data centers are really close to a substation or electrical power. So I'm like, in that Bastrop area, because of Tesla and Amazon and all of that build out, all the distribution warehouses all out that way, they I don't see the employment being driven, you're right, Pete, by the data center build out that's close by, but the housing development is going up just as fast as all of the industrial warehouses, and it's massively happening. It's happening at such a fast pace. There's also a really cool airport out in Bastrop that is like an innovation center where they have like big tech robotics and drone and supercomputing and all of that, because they want to be near Tesla and Amazon and all of that. So you're starting to see some little patterns here where you have a data warehouse build out, you're going to have a bunch of other businesses that are going to be nearby. So it might be good from a business perspective or even just a expansion perspective to start following that line.
Azure City, so it'll be the Azure data center with the Azure Chili's and the
I want to go to the Azure
barbershop, and
oh my God, is this like that movie with Wesley Snipes and Stallone in the future? Like Taco Bell won the restaurant wars or something?
That's right.
Every
it's all happening.
Every restaurant's called Taco Bell.
Rob, you won the Los Tios next to all of that.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
It's Buc-ee's now.
Buc-ee's.
There's plenty of Buc-ee's up that way. So
yeah,
I had my Buc-ee's experience when I was in Texas recently. My first Buc-ee's experience.
There is a Bastrop Buc-ee's, by the way.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah,
it seemed like they were everywhere when I was driving.
What did
Baytown all the time?
Oh yeah,
Pete, that's an amazing place. What did you get though when you were there?
I got lots of different things. Well, I got a brisket sandwich for lunch because I felt like that was obligated, and then I got some lime and salt peanuts, Buc-ee's lime and salt peanuts, and I got pretty large Diet Coke, like a pretty big one.
You didn't get the Buc-ee nuggets.
No, we got a bag of Buc-ee nuggets. It's actually in the pantry. Some cheese nuggets. I don't know. Nuggies, Buggies. I don't know. Buc-ee's Nuggies. It was definitely, and of course I got some gas at one of the 185 gas pumps out front. So
that's Aggie owned, right?
No, they also had the, what were they? They like have the roasted nuts. The roasted nuts station.
Yeah. Makes it smell real good to walk in.
All that. No, it was pretty impressive as a stop on the highway. But then, of course, as soon as you leave one, there's a sign for the next one.
Yeah, but you're right. You always hear that.
You can't go in there without spending $50.
For sure.
It's like Costco.
It is. It's like Costco.
I don't know what happened. I just spent $400. I don't know why.
That's right. I came in to get some paper towels, and I left with a couple of bars of gold.
Do they have any in crossing the border there in Lake
They're
Charles?
putting one in Lafayette.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Where do you live?
I'm in Bellevue, Washington. I'm up here in the Pacific Northwest. So.
Got it.
I was in a strange land in Texas. It was fun.
I couldn't believe how close you were. I was like, Pete, you're in my alma mater.
We should have had, so Rob and I had some catfish sandwiches. We should have had you over there for that.
Oh, I'll pass on that.
Pete had a po' boy.
Po' boy, catfish po' boy.
Oh, my goodness.
I know.
Went native there for a few days.
But you're right. Because I feel like the IoT Coffee Talk headquarters is in Bandera, out at her ranch.
Well, sure, if you want it to be.
We should all get together. We should have like a summit or some kind of
Summit, yeah.
I feel like we need to have some kind of event. If you've ever been on IoT Coffee Talk, if you've ever been on any of the podcasts, that we
Alumni
get the
Association.
full collective together,
Yeah.
and we have some kind of like reunion somewhere.
Yeah.
Bandera, maybe.
Game.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then maybe we do some live events and do something fun and
Some
could-
panel
Everybody-
discussions.
Yeah, everybody will fly into Bandera's International Airport,
right.
and
I think it's the last best place in Texas.
it might
There
be.
you go.
It
you
might
know
be.
it's their tagline is Cowboy Capital of the World.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well,
Wow.
That's something. That's for sure.
Well, I've been seeing a lot of cowboys around Houston lately because the rodeo is now going on. And so that's a big deal. And so every Friday morning, like, you saw Ian there, go to this tech place they built downtown called the Ion. And it's, they do a deal every Friday morning and so we mentor founders and startups and stuff like that. I had just noticed this morning at this event, there were like a sizable number of people wearing cowboy hats and boots.
They're all ready to go to the rodeo tonight, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now have yours
That's a
on.
big deal.
You know what?
I know you got it. It's right there.
I got a couple.
I bet.
I've got a couple.
Well, do you have tickets to any of the shows this year? You probably can't hear me now, but
Whoa, there you
the
go.
San Antonio just wrapped up. It goes Fort Worth Rodeo and then San Antonio. Now it's Houston.
Yeah. She's trying to create the illusion that they have all something in common, as opposed to the world's
see.
largest rodeo livestock show and rodeo on the planet.
Houston is definitely the hub, but they all have great concerts. Like that's the theme, is you have great concerts.
Yeah. So guess who Kathy and I are going to go see? Not tomorrow Saturday, but the following Saturday. Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, she's going to be amazing.
Love Kelly Clarkson.
Me
And whenever I say that name, I just think of the movie, Year Old Virgin. Steve Carell, remember they like waxing his chest, and they're like, we'll rip it up. He goes, Kelly Clarkson.
40-year-old version.
Yes. By the way, speaking of events, PSA. So Rob and I, and actually Leonard, we will be in San Diego at the March 24th to the 26th for Edge AI San Diego. So if people have not yet gotten their tickets, can see you down there, and we have day passes available too.
I'm still a holdout.
3 days of fun. Yes, Stephanie, you are welcome. We will roll out the red carpet for you.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to coordinate some things on the back end to make it work. We'll see.
You got
lots of Qualcommers down there. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. Unfortunately, all the people that I'm trying to coordinate with we're just getting back from Mobile World Congress. So
no, everyone's at MWC and all that stuff. And in Embedded World, I'm flying out to Nuremberg on Saturday for Embedded World. So
that'll be a good one. There's a lot of people.
Busy month of things, but
March is swamped.
March is a little crunchy, but April, I think we're at Microelectronics in Austin. We'll be back in Texas, and Microelectronics in Austin in April will be there. I won't be there, but we'll have the foundation will be there. So
that one looks good. And Smart Cities Connect is next week in Raleigh, and then the week after that is NVIDIA GTC.
Yeah, the GTC.
So there's just a lot going on in March for tech.
A lot of stuff.
And one of our IoT Coffee Talk mates, Bill Pugh, I saw he's going to be speaking at, what is it? Connect Americas or
Connect America, and he's going to be at Smart Cities Connect next week as well. That the Connect America is in April.
Okay. I just saw that.
I've been assisting and helping with some of the PR and marketing that they have going on with those events, and there's just a lot going on, but really cool stuff going on in town of Cary. And then, of course, they've already made some big announcements on some of the work and activities that they're doing with Frisco, Texas. So, yeah, there's some really cool stuff. And putting together these operational dashboards, digital twin technology with these cities is essentially a lot of the things that Bill is working on. So it's cool.
That's awesome. Well, I might have to go to the Connect America thing. That's up in Dallas?
Yes, it's in the Dallas area.
Okay.
What's that?
It's in April. I'll have to look it up, but it's called Connect. Is it Connected America or Connect America?
Something like that. Yeah.
You'll have to send it.
I saw the post from Bill and it's like, click here to get your free pass. I'm
Yeah, if
all
you
right.
if you're a
There you go.
speaker, then they'll give you a little special link to
So
people.
I'm going to get my free pass, and then I can just drive up there.
Rob, I'll
There
pick
you
you
go.
up.
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, it's a good event, and a lot of city CIOs, a lot of Dallas folks there too, like leaders.
Yes,
they'll all be there. Yeah.
yes. What's her name? Sanders.
What is it? The North Texas Alliance people, they'll be there.
Okay.
There's also a Dallas Alliance, and it's all the city operations.
Yeah.
People that are part of that. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
there's so many of these. I would say every kind of industry vertical show now is a tech show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
every show is a tech show. LA Auto Show is a tech show. All these
Right.
things. We're also going to be at Automate in Chicago in June. We're going to do a
Oh,
panel there.
I saw that one.
There's also AI Plus Expo in Washington D.C. in May, which is we have our new defense working group. We're going to do a panel there.
I love
and other
that.
things, but it's all every industry vertical.
You're just going to be all over.
Well, Edge AI is all over, so
Yep.
we get pulled in lots of directions, and every week we get invited to go whatever. Fortunately, we've staffed up a little bit so we can cover more ground, and it's just not just me flying around everywhere. So
Divide and conquer.
Edge
Well,
AI is so hot right now.
it is.
Yeah. Well,
So hot.
I have my shout out. So I have my Auto X Innovator Awards, and
Yeah. What's going on with that?
this is the third edition of this. We don't do this every year, so it is focused on physical AI, edge AI, robotics, and automotive technologies. So this is probably the most submissions I've seen with this awards program. So I think there's a lot of excitement, a lot of interest in all of the innovation that's taken place in those sectors. And there's a lot of overlap, by the way. There's a lot of autonomous systems
Yeah.
in robotics and in the industrial space and manufacturing and automotive. So there's a lot of overlap. So that press release goes out next Wednesday, and you'll see all the award winners from that program.
If you can find some robots that can fold the laundry and carry the laundry, that's really the
That's
key
what we're looking
area.
for.
By the way, Pete, I was looking at your list of partners, and there are some people that are award winners that are Edge AI partners. So I was like,
Fantastic.
Wow.
We have now, I think 65 different partners. I mean, it's
That's amazing.
we get a lot of startups now and new folks. We just had Avnet we announced this week as a
That's a
partner.
big one.
That's
Avnet.
pretty good. Big
Yeah.
one. Avnet worldwide. So
That's good.
it's pretty cool. So it's the whole physical AI. Someone used the term embodied AI, which I don't know if I'm really a fan of that.
But I know what that means.
You know what that means? Okay,
Yeah,
you're the
yeah.
one.
Well, robots, people are in the robotic space. They talk, when they say the word embodied, they actually mean, it's like literally, it could be just a robot arm, a KUKA robot or whatever.
It's in the body.
But that's what they mean is embodied. And in China, that's all they say is embodied when they refer to physical AI.
yeah, maybe that's why, because culturally, like that's just the term that they use. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like specific industries, it's it's AGR and AMR, and there's a lot of the acronyms that are coming into that. So, yeah.
Well, like in the robotic space, what I learned was there's the movable robots, which are called something, and then there's the robotic arms, which are called something else, and then you can combine those two together, so you have a movable robot with an arm,
Cool.
and that's something else. So there's like lots of different Lego permutations going on.
It is evolving. And you know what? At CES,
it's not all just humanoid with like a smiley face.
No. And you know what? A lot of the stuff we saw at CES, there was someone in the background that was managing all that. And so it was another thing. But there was a lot of discussion and hype around just tactile improvements. Of things.
Yes, dexterity is a hot topic.
Dexterity and that is like, I think that was one of the areas that I saw a lot of just innovation around. So
we have Analog Devices as one of our new partners, and they are very invested. If you think about it, it makes sense. In the sensor world and dexterity world and pressure sensing and how do you the gripping and the touching and all that stuff. Yeah, that's a big tech problem.
It's a huge tech problem. I remember watching, I was at an agriculture show a few years ago in Eastern Washington, and it was a really sad session they did. It was a post-mortem on this robotic apple picking company. And that didn't make
Crush the apple.
That didn't make it. and you're watching the video, and I was so blown away. I was so impressed. You know, they're going down the line. And it's like, and you see lights flashing, and it's computer vision and picking apples and stuff like that. Because they have a huge labor problem in agriculture. And I was
Great
like,
problem to solve.
yeah, right. It had a problem to solve. Right. And I was so impressed. And they were like, is it not fast enough or whatever? You know, and it wasn't quite as fast as humans doing it. But the problem was it was bruising the apples, the dexterity.
Wow, pressure.
And they said, we can't sell those apples.
Yeah.
People are picky when they go to the grocery store. If they see an apple that looks, they're like, forget it.
No. Yeah.
It's got to be
like picking strawberries. I mean, there's lots of folks working on that, and it'll get solved, but it's definitely an opportunity for, like, we go back to the hard tech and the physical sciences, you know, and the software is important, but the real world, we say connecting AI to the real world. This is the real world, you know, apple picking.
I noticed
I have
that
one of those baskets on the end of a pole that I use to pick apples. You kind of yank it and it goes into the basket.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed that I have two different ways. I have a drive every morning to Fredericksburg, Texas for my son to go to school. And one of them, if I go through Comfort, they have this great feed mill right in the middle of town. Like, it's so cool because it's right in the middle of town. And the doors are always open. So I love, they had a KUKA Robotics massive arm picking up these massive bags of feed that they had already, bagged up. And it's gone. So I'm like, where's my robotic arm? So I'm like, I wonder what happened with that tool. It's not working.
You got a new job at Kroger or Whole Foods.
Yeah, it's working the checkout line at Kroger.
HEB.
I heard there's also robots now in the grain silos. Like, there's these robots that kind of scurry through the grain silos and
that go in and around.
Do something in there. Because I guess it's very dangerous for people to be in.
I've heard people get buried.
Yeah, you can get buried in there. So now there's robots in there that are like rotating the grain or something like that.
Okay. Wow. That would not be good to be buried in grain in a silo. Like, if you're at the bottom of the silo and it gets...
No, it's very dangerous. Yeah, you could... so robots are now taking over the grain silo stuff.
I read that somewhere else, Pete. I barely read maybe the 2-minute headline, but I didn't get into it. So... we're probably reading some of the same stories.
We are. Well, now that AI is listening, our Instagram feeds are going to pop up with grain silo articles and stuff.
Actually, we should be on the lookout.
My Instagram feed for Compass Intel is like, after CES, it's all robotics. I'm like, okay.
But that's all we saw at CES. It's overwhelming.
It's watching and listening to the things that I'm looking at, so it's funny.
Yeah, it's true. Wow. Yikes.
I don't want to see any more videos of them practicing kung fu and jujitsu and
backflip,
hand-to-hand combat and back
useless
dancing robots.
Yeah, but it's progress, because if you looked at the robots last year, they're like falling over and they couldn't do anything, and so the fact that they could do kung fu is cool and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah, they're showing just how maneuverable they are, I think, more than anything. But some of the displays at CES, they're so comical. You're like, okay,
I know.
They just showcase that, but they don't talk about the real world applications.
Sure.
Because of this improvement. Like, they're just talking
about... It's interesting. Like, the grain silo robot, it doesn't make a demo as the laundry folding robot.
Exactly.
We should have recreated that at CES and had show before and after. And maybe sacrifice some money.
They could have partnered up with Kubota or one of the other big tractor guys that were out there and just been right next door to them and done that.
Or maybe like a ball pit instead of grain silo. It could be like a McDonald's ball pit robot or something.
Ooh, yeah.
Cleaning the balls in the ball pit automatically.
Yeah. If you're in that ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese, you're probably going to get sick.
You are going to get sick.
Yeah. It's kind of like going to Great Wolf Lodge and swimming around in that water with all the other little kids who are all...
Yikes.
Yeah. Every time I hear my wife of being a school teacher, some family, we spent the weekend at Great Wolf Lodge. And sure enough, the kids are like sick for the next 3 days.
Quarantine.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a cesspool of bacteria.
It pretty much is. Well, I guess we can wrap it up now. This has been a wonderful show.
Yeah, we survived without Leonard. Yeah. That's amazing.
I know. I can't believe
we did it.
We could do it.
Y'all, I could not keep up with his posts. I want to read them all, but I haven't been able to
He's a
like,
content
there's gonna be-
machine, man.
yeah, because I want to read what's happening. I'm not there. I have FOMO. So,
Yeah.
and I want to read and learn, but I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I can keep up with this post.
I think the coolest picture I saw though, and you saw it, was with Mark posting that picture of him with Steve Aoki, the DJ.
Oh yeah.
I was like, how the hell did that happen? You're at Mobile World Congress and you get
You wanna
posed
keep
with
it?
Aoki? Oh my God. That's awesome.
I think Steve is working with Qualcomm, though. I think maybe
Probably. That's probably why he's there. Yeah. We'll go check him out at his residency in
the
Vegas.
glamorous life of Leonard Lee.
They'll spend that money.
Exactly. I think, don't they make like $100,000 a night or something doing the EDM stuff in Vegas?
DJs?
Yeah, these DJs.
Well, very famous DJs. I mean, it's worldwide fame. They're living large. So
yeah. Who knew?
It is a career path for some folks, no question.
Yeah. Nice.
Good.
All right. Thanks everybody for coming and joining us on IoT Coffee Talk. But a word from our most important sponsor, Stephanie is going to talk to you about Elevate Communities.
Ooh. Yeah, Rob, it has been a struggle. When you're setting up a nonprofit and someone else is using the same name as you in a small little East Texas nonprofit, getting them to send over paperwork so you can actually move forward with your nonprofit, that's been our challenge. It has been signed, but I need actual paperwork in my hands. Like if you're going to notarize something, you can't send that to me digitally.
Right.
That will not work.
Right.
So I feel like I might have to just do a drive to East Texas.
You're going to have to go to this little
town.
Go
meet her and retrieve the document, because we cannot move forward until we have that document in hand, and I got everything else ready. So in the meantime, you can check out elevatecommunities.org. We're talking about pre-disaster, during the disaster, and post-disaster relief. The goal is to bring together technologists as well as the solutions to really support in drought, fires, and all the other disasters that are happening across the states. So stay tuned while we get ourselves organized. But that is going to be, as soon as we have the information, we're going to share that with all of the greater IoT Coffee Talk crew, and just stay tuned.
Yeah. Turns out IoT can help out with a lot of that stuff. Early warning, remote monitoring of things when things go bad, right?
Without doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Good. Well, good seeing everybody.
Thank you. It was great seeing all of you.
Yeah, great, man. Don't be a stranger, Steve.
Yeah, and check out all the episodes at iotcoffeetalk.com.
And we're also on Substack now.
Ooh,
Substack, YouTube.
We're all over the place.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere you turn.
Substack was cool, and so now we're on Substack.
Blue Sky? No, not Blue Sky. Sorry.
I tried Blue Sky for a while, and now it's like a ghost town.
It's a ghost town. I think we auto post to Blue Sky.
Okay.
It's part of my agent, AI agent post to Blue Sky.
Absolutely.
Just in case.
Just in case there might be one person out there. You never know.
Never know.
All right. We'll see y'all next week.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.